All right, friends, here we go. We are ready for math. If you have your math page, please take it out. So we know how to subtract in all sorts of ways. We know how to subtract all the way up to 4. We know how to decide, are we going to use plus or minus? We know how to follow addition and subtraction patterns. And today we're going to practice using 10 frames to subtract. 10 frames. So just a reminder, this is a 10 frame. And we know that when a 10 frame is all filled up, there are 10 counters. We know that. We don't even have to count. We know that this side has 5 and this side has 5. But in all, there's always 10. If it's filled up, it's always 10. We know that. That's why it's called a 10 frame. Okay, so how many red counters are there? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if we take away all the red counters, how many counters are going to be left? How many yellow counters? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are going to be 7 left. Now, let's write that in our subtraction number sentence. So we start out with how many in all? Well, we know, looking at a 10 frame, there are 10 in all. We already know that because it's a 10 frame. So we'll write that number. 10 is a 1 and a 0. Okay, so there are 10 in all. We know that. And we are taking away how many? Remember, we said that if we take away the red counters, so we're going to count how many red counters. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 red counters. Okay. So our number sentence so far says we started with 10 in all. We know that. This is a 10 frame. We're taking away the 3 red counters. Here they are, 1, 2, 3. And we're asking, well, how many yellow counters are left? And let's count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Across the top and down from heaven, that is how we write a 7. Okay, my friends, so looking at our number sentence, let's double check that we make sure that we understand what we're doing. So we're saying we're starting with 10 in all. We know that. There's the 10 frame. We are taking away the 3 red counters. There they are, 1, 2, 3. And left over are 7 yellow counters. Here they are. So our number sentence says 10, take away minus 3 equals 7. 10 in all minus 3 red counters equals 7 yellow counters left over. Okay, friends. So your raccoon at the top of your page, he says, I use a 10 frame to take away 4 from 10. Okay, so we see that. So let's double check we understand. We know that in a 10 frame, if it's filled up, there are 10 in all. There are 10 in all. We take away 4. He did that already. And now there are 6 left over. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you might be saying, Miss Morga, you didn't have to count all of those. And you're right. We know that this side has 5, so we can just count on 5, and 1 more is 6. That's a quick way of doing it. But it's okay to count 2. So we said 10 in all, take away 4, minus 4, because that's what our raccoon said, equals 6 left over. Here they are, 6 left over. All right, now, looking at your butterfly row, this is what your butterfly row looks like. I'm sorry, it's a star row. Looking at the star row on the second page, this is what it looks like. And the directions are, look for a number pattern, count the marbles, and write the numbers. Circle the number that is most likely to come next in the pattern. So we need to decide what's going to come next in this pattern if we were to do it again. So let's find out. First, we need to count the marbles and write the numbers. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 6. Okay, so I'm going to write that number. There's 6 in that pile. Here we go. Let's do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 in this one. Down and across and down once more. That is how we make a 4. Here we go. We're going to do these ones now. 1, 2. I'm going to write a 2. Okay. We're going to go on to this one. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6. I think I see a pattern starting to emerge. Think to yourself and see if you might be able to see it too. All right, let's go on to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down and across and down once more. That is how we make a 4. Look again. Do you see the pattern? All right, let's count these ones. 1, 2. All right. So let's look for this pattern. 6, 4, 2. 6, 4, 2. All right, so Miss Morgan's going to circle the pattern rule. So the pattern rule is 6, 4, 2. This is an ABC pattern, an ABC pattern. Here's our pattern rule. So when we get to the end of the pattern rule, we just start over. So when it goes 6, 4, 2, we start over 6, 4, 2. Think to yourself, what could that second or that next number be? What would the next number be? Think in your brain. I hope you said 6. Let's check. 6, 4, 2. 6, 4, 2. 6, 4, 2. So if the pattern went on and on and on forever, the next number would be 6, then a 4, then a 2. The pattern repeats, remember, and this is an ABC pattern. All right, so I think this should be a pretty quick lesson for you guys, but looking here, so we're seeing how many were taken away. So we started with 10 in all, we know that. How many are taken away? How many are X'd out? You write that number. How many are left over? You're going to have to count. You can either count one at a time or you can count on. You can start 5, 6, 7, 8. It's up to you, whatever works. So you need to do this whole page. You are writing how many counters are taken away, then write how many are left over. How many are taken away? How many are left over? Okay, on the back, same thing. Write how many counters are taken away and how many are left over on each of them. How many are taken away? How many are left over? Then down here, we just did this. So you're looking for the number pattern, count the marbles and write the numbers down here. And then you're going to circle which number comes next. So try to remember, and if you can't remember, just go back and look at the pattern. Which one did we say was going to come next? Once you've done this, you're going to go on to this page. Same thing. So you're writing the whole number sentence. So these are a little bit more tricky. You have to tell me how many you started with. Here, did you start with 10? No way, because the whole 10 frame isn't filled up. We only started with 2. So we would say 2, take away. How many did we take away? 2 equals how many left over? There is 0 left over. On this one there, we started with 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to say, in all, we started with 6. Then we took away 1. So we would write a 1 here. And left over, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straight back, big belly with a hat on top. After you do that, so you're going to do the whole page. So remember, you need to count how many you started with, how many did you X out, how many left over. Then you need to go back and you need to do this page. You already know how to do this. This is exactly the same as what we've been doing. Write how many counters were taken away, how many were X'd out, write it here, and how many left over right here. All right, friends, it's time for you to start working. Good luck, have fun, and do well in math.